Hello, everyone, and welcome to Frisco, Texas, site of the 2016 USYS National Championships. Brought to you by the Turbo Sports Group. I'm Todd Panula, and I'm here to bring you all of today's exciting action as we present Group B action in the U17 Boys Championships. The two teams that you're going to be seeing here today are going to be Challenger Cruz Jr. and CASL Red. These two teams are seeking out their first win of the tournament. Both of them lost yesterday. We'll get into that one here in just a moment as the official is getting ready to start. There's the whistle, and we're underway here in the first half between Challenger Cruz and CASL Red. CASL Red going to be in the dark jerseys, countered by the gold of Challenger. Played off the defender, and CASL in retreat here in the early going. They send one up the near hand side, looking for a little bit of space. Again, played off the defender, and then the second opportunity is good for Nelson. Free kick. CASL will be able to put a foot into it, try to send this one into the box. Cyrus Rad going to put a left foot into it. The arm goes up, the kick goes in. Looking for somebody along that back side. That one touched out. Question is what it'll be, and they signaled the goal kick, much to the chagrin of some of the CASL players. Challenger had gotten it up towards the box. Player goes down. Both these teams kind of charging back and forth here in the early going. Now Rad plays it right into the body of Duldner, but I believe he was called for the handball. So it'll be a free kick. Just a few, well, now a few feet inside the half, because I gotta say a few inches. Gallardo sends it towards goal, and Soto makes the grab. High up into the air, and Rad able to get a piece of it. Comes over to the near side for Challenger, though. Popped up into the air. Not too much possession here for either team, as it's just kind of a ping-pong match. Couldn't be settled down there by Werner. Played back by Gildner. Rad calling for it here on the near side. Instead, Gallardo just boots it deep upfield. Was trying to get it on to Milliken. Challenger with an opportunity to go the other direction. Turretin. Lost possession. CASL with an opportunity, perhaps. And again, we've kind of seen that throughout the day, and towards the end of the day yesterday, the field kind of giving way. The grass itself is in pretty good condition, but for whatever reason, perhaps the roots haven't been given enough opportunity to kind of take hold, and the turf really getting chunked up here. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays once we get towards the semifinals and finals, perhaps even the last day of group play. Gallardo gives it off into the midfield. Pleasance sends it back. Now Curtis. Albrecht. With a little bit of space. Very ambitious with that opportunity. Gallardo wins it. Oh, that is a vicious challenge. The official comes over and gives a talking to Thomas Pataka. He is probably fortunate not to go in the book on that one, as he absolutely slammed into the back of Curtis. So Gallardo puts another big foot into it. Looking at a man open on the box. Here is Gallardo, as that was actually Rad who had taken the free kick. Challenger pushing up the field. A little bit of space on the near side. Excellent through ball. Stopped on by Margaret. Margaret cuts it back towards the byline. Tries to cross. Heading in. Nobody dealing with it, letting it bounce. That's always dangerous. Comes loose, they score! Challenger Crew puts it in the back of the net. CASL not dealing with that well enough. And the goal was poached by Stephen Milhone. Here's Rad. So the goal scored in the 7th minute. And that was just what the doctor ordered for Challenger Crew. They hadn't necessarily had a bunch of offensive opportunities, but they took advantage. Last touch by Nelson. They'll give the throw to Challenger. Kept in. Looking up for Milhoon again. Takes a knock to the back, kind of looking around, hoping for a call, none to be had. Now it's Reipel. Flicked down by Margaret. Right-footed shot, always curling away. Goal scored on one of the other fields, in case you heard that reaction, as it was a pretty good one. Now coming in, Rad taken out from behind. Clean challenge from Pataka, says the official. Looking up for Milhoon. And all the way back onto the keeper. Jacob Kendall trying to get it up into play. Pleasance. Took a little bit of a nick, but Curtis gets it. And now Rad. On to Gallardo. One-touch passing, working that triangle. A little too heavy there. Up around the defender. Running onto it is Werner. Oh, and he has absolutely stepped into a great defensive play. Pataka, too heavy on the touch. Back to get it is Walczyk. Rad peels it back. Now Pleasance. As it's heating up here in Frisco, both in terms of the action and the temperature. The sun out in full force. It was already above 80 degrees at 7 o'clock this morning. And that is Central Time, obviously. And we welcome you in, regardless of where you're watching, whether it be Medin, Ohio, Raleigh, North Carolina, or anywhere in the lower 48. Perhaps even Canada, who knows? Up towards the goal, punched away with force by Soto, as he was unsure of where that one was going to end up. Bouncing back and forth in the air, nobody able to settle it down quite yet. Finally down onto the foot of Montalvo, looking for a little bit of space, and that one just cleared away. Now an opportunity for CASL. Drop back for Curtis after it was played by Milliken. Sent in towards the box. Couldn't be played very cleanly. Pleasance able to settle it down. Again, it's just kind of lost in there. And Soto had enough of that and comes out to make the grab. A charge could be on here for Challenger. They're already up 1-0 on the 7th minute goal. Trying it over on the far sideline. Nothing doing there as that was cut out. CASL on the counter. Intending to get that one to Walczyk. Albrecht couldn't get to it. Got a little over anxious on the attempt. Giving up a free kick. Walczyk gave it up. Challenger trying to push it up into an attacking area. Here's Mulhone. And he gave it up as well. Pleasant. Handball. Bit unfortunate there as Milliken looked like he was building up a good attack, but in the end he couldn't get it his hand away from his body enough to avoid that handball call. High up into the air towards the edge of the 18. Cheeky little outside of the foot flick from Mulhone, but it ended up with a little too much on it, and he was intending it to be just kind of a chip over the defenders. CASL very deliberate now as they build it up from the back. Gallardo goes very direct, trying to get it onto Rad, but I believe there's going to be, well, too much on that. So from the goal kick, it comes out to midfield. Played there by Duldner. Almost intercepted by Walczyk. Over the head of Duldner. He's got some space. Defenders backing off. Duldner onto the left foot. Takes a drive. But ended up pretty easy for Kendall. Again, given away. CASL, very similar to the game we had earlier, which was a Group A game with Pipeline, and now we're going to get some extra officiating here as the fans very displeased with what they witnessed over there on the far sideline. It looks like it's just going to be an admonishing. And not going into the book there is Will Turreton. It's a very dangerous challenge. Again, perhaps electing not to put anyone in the book since there's going to be so much of this match left. Taking it down from behind, CASL wins the free kick. So, Red is going to put it in. He's going to go a little more direct towards goal, curling towards that back post. Gallardo! And ended up just wide, and now Soto seems to have injured himself, colliding with that post. So, due to the goalkeeper injury, there's going to be a bit of a pause here in the action. Not an official water break. We will get one. Pretty much all the games from 9:30 on throughout the day are probably going to feature water breaks throughout, both in the first half and second half. Generally, they will occur about halfway through. So right now we're in the 19th minute with a potential goalkeeper substitution coming in. Looks like Alex Dudley is going to come into the game. So Dudley will come into the game. Soto will have to go out, and the players will retake the field.
Hey, you have to pitch in defensively! No!
Again, just kind of pinging back and forth as neither side really having too much in the way of possession. Now they come over here to the near side. Challenger looking for that second goal. Little step over move from Margaret. And then he was dispossessed. Nice defense on that end. CASL trying to find an answer. They haven't been able to push upfield here in the last few moments. Rad with the giveaway. A little flick. Back on for Warner. And he will just methodically take it up the right-hand side. Gallardo able to steal it. Into touch, but not too bad from the defensive side of things. Now up the wing for Turretin. Look at back post! The run was there, the header was there. It just couldn't get underneath it.
You'll have time to get out there, get inside. Then when you win it, open up.
So we'll put things back into play from the goal kick. Settled down nicely. The CASL can't retain possession, at least in the moment. Now here's Red calling for the run. The ball went inside. A huge sliding challenge, taking it away from Nelson. And Nelson. And now there is the water break.
I should have known. I should have known. Hey, Grant. Hey, keep it up. What an effort!
So we're back underway after the water break. Teams have rehydrated themselves and we'll try to finish this one out strong. Ball's still in. Good effort here on the near sideline. Now it's on for Warner. Ataka. Warner again. Left foots it towards the edge of the area, running onto it himself. But Gallardo was always there, able to make the clearance all the way up to the half line. Trying to get it back up into the mixer, but Red is there. Played off the defender, and that'll be a throw in for CASL. Subs coming in, lots and lots of fresh legs. Gallardo sends it back the other direction. Good challenge from Margaret. Into touch again. So now we will get the subs. Coming in for CASL, Montalvo, Rudolph, Nelson, and McNally. Also Declan Bros. Dangerous towards the top of the box, but ultimately dealt with. Margaret trying to send it the other direction. An opportunity could be on here for Challenger to get it into the box. The goal scorer looking for his second, deflected. And it goes wide, but they will get the corner kick. Stephen Milhone with a fantastic bit of skill to get inside the box and towards the penalty spot, but his shot was ultimately sent away by the defender. Going near post on the corner kick, sent right back out. Milhone will try a second opportunity. This time going a little bit further back. It's coming back in. They score! Again, seemingly out of nowhere. But the goal still ends up on the board. What an opportunity. What a finish. So Challenger now in firm control of this one as they lead 2-0. The goal coming off the head of Nicholas Reipel. So in the 29th minute, 2-0 is your score. So Challenger crew up 2-0. So CASL already behind things. They would pretty much be knocked out if they lose here today, especially if the scoreline stays as it is. Obviously nothing official because we don't know what the scores of the other games are, but since both of those teams had wins coming into today and both of these teams had losses, you would figure if you pick up 2 losses in the first 2 days, it's going to be nigh impossible. Trying to slip one in behind. Running onto it was Montalvo. Montalvo gets one in. Deflected out for the corner. If you're CASL, it's still in the first half. So things aren't overly dire, but you need to start taking advantage of some of these because opportunities grow thin as the contest progresses. So it'll be a left-footed corner from the far-hand side. It's a good one in a dangerous area. It got a touch and on the near side post. I believe that was red to get a little bit of a nick on that one, but not quite the shoestring strike that he would have liked. Malone, near side. Now look at all the space in front. Bringing it up is Margaret. Puts on the brakes. And that was just enough to allow the defender to come back. And now there's extracurriculars going on here. Zach Curtis was upset, trying to help the quote-unquote help up the player, but then he started screaming at him to get up. And that's just not going to stand, so that's going to get himself put in the book. So the yellow card comes in the 32nd minute. That's not sitting overly well with Andrew Rabil. So things falling apart just a tiny bit. And that was Curtis again. He's got to watch himself. He kind of threw an arm out on the challenge. Dives in on that one again. And he's going to get himself into trouble very quickly if he continues as is. So Challenger Crew up 2-0, but the strange thing is even if they win, if the score stayed the same, they would still have a negative goal differential because they lost 4-0 to Ladune Red just yesterday. So they are trying to pick up their first points here, whereas Castle Red is trying to pick up their first as well, but they are going to be hard-pressed to do so. Missing it on the swipe with the right hand was Kendall, but his defenders were able to pick up the pieces. Now Rudolph with the head ball. Looking for O'Brien here on the near side. He's got a lot of space, but rushing to catch up to him is Faust. Set in towards the box. The shot, oh, the crossbar. Rebound, what a save. Dudley springing down to the right and able to keep it out. Castle can't believe their luck. They thought they had the goal. Rudolph hit the crossbar, and then the rebound chance from Albrecht was stopped by the goalkeeper. It's taken by Rad. He's able to win it. Curtis looking for a little bit of space, given away. Bit of a push there. Albrecht got the worst of it, and the official called it eventually. Now we get a stoppage as there's a player down for Castle here on the near side. Referee going to come over to check on him. I believe it's red. But no substitution necessary. He's going to just shake off the cobwebs and continue on. Coming out to pick that one up was Dudley. This one Could easily be 2-1 if not for Dudley, as he came up with a sparkling save, getting down to the right to keep out the rebound chance after the initial shot had hit the crossbar. The Challenger crew already up 2-0, going with purpose through the midfield. Pleasance able to take it away. McNally. Pleasance again. Lets it run through and avoids the sliding challenge from Turton. O'Brien. Too cute with the pass. Going the other way. Just ladled up the field. Now we get a stoppage with an injury for Challenger in the midfield. So just kind of resetting the game for you. 2 goals scored, one in the 7th minute. That came from Stephen Milhone. And then one in the 29th minute. It was Nicholas Reipel to put one in the back of the net. Both goals seemingly coming out of nowhere, as there wasn't too much buildup that led to them. Sub coming in for the injured player is Michael Adelman. So back into play, and Montalvo will set it up from the backside. Sends it far wing for McNally as he looks for a little bit of space. Gets it up top. Albrecht. Now Curtis. Remember, Curtis picked up that kind of silly yellow card, so he's got to be careful with the rest of this contest. Comes over here to the near wing. And now we get a whistle. Somebody else is going in the book. This time it's going to be Challenger. I believe that was Riley Hude going in the referee's pocket. .38th minute. And a yellow card, or second of the contest. One for each team now. Rad puts a left foot into it, but frustrated with the result. Bros got a little knock from behind. The ball went out, and they will get the corner kick. Now going the other way, trying to spring to counterattack, but that's going to roll all the way into the box, and Kendall will have it. This one a little close to Hude. Is he going to get to it? Rad puts up the foot and settles it down. Hude dangerously stuck in the studs. If he had collided with the leg, that probably could have been it for his day. But nothing happened, and we continue on. Hude. And they tie each other up. So it's getting a little heated. The temperature is high enough as it is just with the weather. But the temper's starting to flare. Deflected, they score! No goal, no goal. I was wondering what was going on. There was no celebration. They're going to call the push. So CASL feels hard done by the call there. They thought they had the goal from William Rudolph, and instead it remains 2-0. So the score remains 2-0. Challenger avoiding what could have been a catastrophe. As CASL beginning to put some more pressure on here. Eyeing it up on the near sideline, keeping it in on the touchline. Popping one over the top. Adelman settles it down, at least for the moment. And he kind of split his attackers. It was intended either for Hude or Duldner, and he found neither. Now, slipping over on the far side is Milhone. He's a little bit upset with the service, wanted it more to feet. CASL hoping to poach one before half. They thought they had one, but it was not to be as the official called a push just before the goal. CASL keeping the pressure on the offensive end, but they can't seem to break down that defense. And again, CASL just getting a little bit over eager here. We're going to get another card handed out. So another card you handed out to CASL Red as the ledger beginning to fill up here. .42nd minute of play, and the card goes against Quinn Albrecht. This one just simply played out. Discretion, the better part of valor right there. Handball, so we'll put the ball back into play off the free kick. Dangerous towards Hude. Instead it goes the other way, and now it's O'Brien. We're going to get about 4 minutes of stoppage time added on to this one. So we've got a nice pleasant cloud rolling overhead. Back into play very quickly. Rad lays it off for Curtis. Trying to get it up to Bros. And another card being handed out. So as I mentioned, the book beginning to fill up. 2 yellow cards for each team, 4 in total. The latest one coming in the 44th minute. So I'll give Rad a chance to put a left foot into it, right into the wall, asking for the handball not to be had. The AR here on the near side had a good view of it. Kept in along the line by O'Brien as he cuts towards the byline, and instead it's sent away. Sub coming in for Challenger Crew. Coming loose. And they're unable to get it out. Back heel to Bros. Bros puts it on the string. Oh, He had the through ball for Albrecht, but the pass wasn't quite there. Well defended. That one will go into touch. It'll be a Challenger Crew throw. Little chunk pass up the near sideline. Trickett, unable to get that one where he wanted it. And that one's into touch as well. Time ticket away on this first half. It's 2-0 in favor of Challenger Crew. They seek it out on the far side. Counterattack could be on here. McNally had gone up. The shot comes in. Oh, just wide. It was from a tough angle. It would have been difficult for Hude to get that one on target. And Kendall was down to cover it up. But a dangerous chance nevertheless for Challenger Crew as we're in stoppage time. O'Brien to Curtis. Taking on the defender. A little bit of a heavy touch there, and it'll be a goal kick. Long ball through the middle. Hude goes up for it. Instead, it's won by Rabil. Touch to Trickett. Great challenge there. Oh, a little bit of extracurricular activity afterwards, though, from Rad. He's got to watch himself. All these players do. Once the cards start coming out, it's hard to put them back. Going over the top. Getting to it first. It's going to be Turturin. Late chance here. Pleasance puts the left foot into it. Oh, and that one was deflected by Rose as he got the side foot onto it. But that'll do it. 45 minutes in the books. 2-0 your score in favor of Challenger Crew as they lead CASL Red at the break. And we will take a quick break for your halftime. When we come back, we'll have the second half of action. More from the USYS Soccer National Championships in Frisco, Texas after this.
We made it to nationals, and that was amazing because we were one of the best. I think at the time it was 4 teams. It was a round robin, actually. So it was the best 4 teams in the whole nation, and so we thought we were just the next best thing since sliced bread. And I think that playing in that tournament was so surreal because you played against other club teams that were so good and at the same level as you that you know don't necessarily always get the chance or opportunity to play against, which was so great for us because we were like, wow, these girls are like just as good as us, if not better, and we have to compete at the highest level and play these 3 games, or at that, it was a round robin, so we played before, but still that just reminds me of how competitive I was and my teammates were at that age, which also I think helped me get to the next level. And being that competitive at the club level has only helped me, continue to grow and my competitive spirit and level that I'm playing at right now.
The national championships was really, really special. I think that was like the biggest thing I had really won, and that's kind of for youth soccer growing up, that was kind of the ultimate prize. And I think we were always super ambitious in achieving that and to have that happen. And I think what's so special about youth soccer is that it's really your family. The girls that you grow up with become like your sisters, and you do everything. And there's just like such a strong camaraderie there. So to play with a team that you've played for a while with, and with these girls, it's a very special feeling to win something like that.
Those were really great moments because at such a young age, I feel like I was competing for something and really working hard to, perform for my team. And it was no longer just about, whatever the result is the result. I mean, at the end of the day, you win some, you lose some. But that was probably the moments that I was like, whoa, we got to win. We got a state championship on our hands that we could actually bring home. And I think those are really cool moments because, you remember a lot of the times that you win. You try to remember the losses as well because you do learn from them. But at the same time, you want to remember the wins that you have. So state championships were definitely a really important part of my memory.
Sometimes you can play with the best players. To play against the best players is where you get better. My team went to the national championship one time. Unfortunately, we didn't win, but it was just an amazing experience to feel like, and I'm from a small town, so to feel like you were competing against the best in the country is something that I'll always remember.
Our state cup was fun. My team was very competitive. I mean, we had a lot of competition as well, but I can't remember how many we won. Maybe 9, I think, is what we counted with our team, which made it so much fun. That was always like the big goal at the end is win state cup, go to regionals, and go to nationals. And we always fell short going to nationals, which still hurts today to even talk about. But I had so much fun in those tournaments, and my team made it even 10 times better to be a part of.
I get to play now in front of huge crowds and with all this spotlight and attention, and I don't think I'll ever have that feeling that I did going through my U14 national championship. I remember winning state cup. I can tell you how I scored, what the score was. I remember going to Hawaii. That was our regionals, Region 4, and I remember that national championship. And I think that it stays with me so much because it was about camaraderie. It was about growing and learning who you were and making these lifelong bonds.
What is it that defines us? A collection of moments that develop into a memory. Each day, each hour, each second. Our minds let go of 1,000 things a day. Dates of wars and deaths of kings. The tears that dry and the pain that fades. What really is a memory? The immortal thought that makes an ever-changing moment unchangeable. What you make of those moments determines if they are ingrained in you or lost forever. Your memories take the lessons from your journey and turn them into a roadmap for your future. For what is each person's course except a series of choices between the right way and the easy way? Those choices will contribute to the voice in the back of your head that tells you to go further and push harder. The voice that reminds you of the pain of coming up short, or that your time at the top is fleeting. Dedication ensures that when your time comes and you are called to play, that moment will be imprinted on your memory forever. In the years to come, will you look back and wish you had done something differently? Or will you know that you left it all on the field, giving everything you had and everything that you are? This is your moment. How will you remember it?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Frisco, Texas. We're just about set for second half action between CASL and Challenger Crew. The score at the half is 2-0 in favor of Challenger. They got a 7th-minute goal from Stephen Malone, and then a 29th-minute goal from Nick Reipel. And that's the difference. CASL had their chances. You can't say they didn't have at least one or two. One was an excellent stop by Soto earlier in the game, very early in the game, and then he got injured colliding with the post. And then another chance was denied by Alex Dudley, the substitute goalkeeper. And then CASL thought they had one in the back of the net. It actually hit the net towards the end of the contest, or at the end of the half, I should say. But it ended up not counting as they called Rudolph for the foul. So we're back underway here in the second half. Hess sends it back all the way to Dudley. He just has to boot it out. Now we're going to get a foul and perhaps a booking. It's a little bit early in the half, but into the book goes Maxwell Hess. "47th minute, and we've already got a booking here in this half." CASL needs to start taking advantage of these opportunities. Time ticking away. Could perhaps be the end of their tournament, as it would be almost impossible to still qualify with 2 losses in the book. Not officially done, but it would be extremely difficult. Towards that back post again. Oh, the volley! O'Brien couldn't quite get the hips swung around, and he caught it underneath. CASL trying to clear it out. Push from behind. Referee spots it. Milliken called for the offense.
Sam higher! Carson! Good. Bit some weight out wide. Martinez is in here. Advance it on goal. It's got a 1v1. Let's get it onto her right foot. Shot!
Trying to go to the back post. Looking for that third goal. That would probably put the nail in the coffin. Challenger Crew obviously wanting to get some extra tallies onto this one, because the more goals they get, the closer back to even they get with their goal differential. Right now they've got it to -2, even though they would pick up the 3 points if this contest ended right now. Played up the field by Adelman. And gets it back. Now to Reeton. Trying to lob one over the top. Rudolph running onto it. Can't get to it first, though. Just missed for Bros. McNally trying to get it in towards the top of the 18. Kind of a wild swing from Bros. O'Brien on the far side. Just kind of got turned around and spun around. And now it's going the other direction. Montalvo is able to win it for CASL. Throws, stumbles a little bit, regains his footing. Lays it off, the shot comes in. Defender dealt with it, and it's back out. Here's Pleasance and McNally. Close down, trying to slip one through to Milliken. He's going to get to it, brings it back from the byline. It ended up going out over the byline, and we'll have the goal kick. Flicked on, dealt with by Gallardo. Back into the midfield. Rifle, the goal scorer, trying to chip one, unsuccessful. CASL trying to counter. Walczyk brings it up the left. Gets a bit of space as he gets around the defender. Puts one into the mixer. But it ended up kind of hitting the turf and just dying on the spot. Dudley will throw it over to the left. He's got a bit of pace on it, but picked up by Edelman. Tried to give it up to Milhone. Left to the right side. Rudolph. Again, just too close to the goalkeeper, wasted opportunities. Calls for a handball, go unwarranted by the referee. Comes near side now. McNally, crossfield. Takes a bad hop for CASL. Walczyk. Now for Montalvo. Montalvo forced to chest it down after it flipped up into the air off the defender. Long throw into the box. Again, seeking out Rudolph. He towers over everybody. But apparently the official saw a little tug there, and Rudolph not too pleased again. That's the second time that he's gotten called for kind of a ticky-tack foul. The first one cost them a goal. This one not nearly as egregious in the eyes of CASL, but still not necessarily something that they thought was warranting the referee's whistle. Bringing it up through the midfield. Sent through by Duldner. On for Hess. In towards the area. Trying to get across. Goes off the defender, and he'll get a corner kick. So CASL will have to send numbers back, everybody back on the defensive side of the half. Even Declan Brose, who isn't all that tall, being told to come back and help defend this. You can't afford to give up another one. The goal differential definitely not on CASL's side right now. They lost 2-1 to Baltimore Celtic yesterday. So they came into this game with a -1 goal difference. And now it's up to -3. To the back post, still not dealt with. And then we get a late whistle. Apparently it had gone over the end line, so we'll have a corner kick from the far side now. So no hurry here for Milhone as he just strolls over to the far side corner flag to take this. Right footer out towards the penalty spot. Gallardo deals with it, and then Walczyk sends it even further over the head of Walczyk. Gallardo tosses his body into it. Adelman trying to settle it down. Now for Milhone. He's got what would amount to the game-winning goal as of right now. They slot one through. Milhone tries to win it. That one was going to roll out anyway. Good effort there from Challenger. They still concede the goal kick. So Dudley going to start the gamesmanship here early. And lays it on the ground, and he's going to play it from there. Taking his time. Pressure finally put on by Milliken. Trying to bring it up the left-hand side. Now it could be on for Rudolph. Tried to touch around. He will get the free kick. And a yellow card handed out. So we're going to get a free kick from the far side. Punched away by Dudley. That'll lead to a corner. '13th minute, headed away as Turretin was able to get it back. And we get a whistle. I believe the flag was up. Two 2-0 your score. As offside was the call. Finally, it's touched to put the referee's arm down. Picked up here by Hess. He's got Adelman making the run. He continues to dribble. Left-hand side. Hess watches it go out. There's Milhone taking the left footer. It ended up well wide of the target. Couldn't quite swing the hips around it. 2-0 your score. It's a long road back right now for CASL, but they have to find that first one to even have a hope. As I've mentioned a couple times, if they fall here today, they wouldn't be officially eliminated, but it would be extremely difficult. You would basically have to have a lot of help, and you'd have to score a lot of goals in that third day game. Right now they're trying to focus here on today and see if they can poach one back, perhaps get the equalizer down the road. Up the wing, looking for Rudolph. Right into the chest of the defender. Rudolph with another opportunity. Trying to get it to Walczyk. Nothing doing there. Into touch and coming out. CASL trying to push it. They have to retreat, at least for the moment. Too much opportunity there given to Challenger to come over and Hess looking for some space. CASL getting a little bit frustrated here. Got to keep their cool under these kind of conditions. There's already been several yellow cards handed out. Don't want to put yourself in a bad position. None of the players doing anything wrong, but the coaching staff starting to get onto the referees, and understandably so. They've felt like they've been a little bit hard done by some of the calls here today. From a neutral standpoint, I haven't necessarily seen anything overly egregious to where you'd say, oh, well, that was definitely the incorrect call. CASL will have the throw from the near sideline. Looks like they're going to set up a long one, trying to get it into the box. Right around the 6-yard area, flicked on. Dudley got a punch to it, and then it's sent away. Looking for the counterattack. Margaret putting on the pressure. Kendall with the huge foot. Good touch over the defender. O'Brien unable to get a piece of that one as Adelman got a foot onto it. Over on the far sideline. And out to CASL. Once again, both these teams seeking out their first point. Mentioned earlier, Challenger Crew lost 4-0 to Ladue Red. And then the 2-1 loss for CASL on day one to Baltimore Celtic. '18th minute here. Time not on CASL's side. They need to score one quickly if they hope to find an equalizer later on. Right now it's in the possession of Challenger as they drop it back for Hess. Player went to ground. That was Turitin. Had nothing to do there. His body's falling left and right. The field getting a little bit chewed up here as the days go along. Back through the center circle. Chipped up by Pleasance. Dudley comes out. Milhone trying to chip, but Gallardo was too tall. Adelman throws his body into the challenge, doesn't come away with it. And now O'Brien gives up the foul. A lot of words being shared with the referee, probably none of them good, and now I think there was one that was definitely not very good. The official had enough of that. Yellow card handed out to Sam Milliken. 20th minute here. 65th overall. And it's another player in the book.
Hey, let's go organize and not give anything away.
It's going to be Turretin to put a right foot into it. Looking for that third goal here for Challenger. Towards the edge of the box, not overly dangerous. Another opportunity. Adelman just sends it over towards the corner. A little bit of a feint there as Reipel. Flag up, offside. Coming here in. Rudolph gets it back. Just too many gold jerseys right now. Reipel. Milhone. Reipel gets it back again. It's playing right into the hands right now of Challenger. The more they can just kind of knock it around and possess the ball, the better off they are for the rest of this game. They're already up by 2. CASL's going to have to start throwing numbers forward. I already saw the coaching staff trying to come up with some different formations, players in different positions to try to find that space in behind. Don't believe they've implemented it yet. Here's Milliken, and he was dispossessed. Good challenge there to get it back. Rabiel. Hard challenge. Here's Malone, sliding one through. Good ball, a shot. And there it's out for a corner. So it's going to be a corner kick coming. No great hurry here for Challenger crew to put this one back into play. They go short for Adelman. Back for Malone. He's going to try one. Going back post. Over the bar.
Water, let's go, water, water.
There's a whistle. We'll get a water break. As everybody comes over to the sideline, getting those fluids as we enter the 23rd minute. It's been a very good contest from both teams. Obviously, CASL disappointed with the results so far. But nevertheless, a solid performance so far for both teams. Challenger has gotten the better of their opportunities as they have put 2 in the back of the net. We mentioned it. Bears are repeating. Stephen Malone has the game-winning goal as of right now, and then followed up by a 29th minute goal for Nick Reipel. CASL has had their chances. They thought they had one in the back of the net as William Rudolph skied up to put one in off the cross. But apparently there was a foul of sorts beforehand. And had some reports of people watching in and saying they went back and reviewed it a couple times and didn't necessarily see it, so that's not going to please CASL fans. But the center official saw something in it that denied them the goal. And now they only have a short time to try to get 2 in the back of the net. But we've seen stranger things happen. Sub's about to come in. Lots of subs coming in now for CASL as Albrecht will check back in. Also coming in, Nelson, Minozzi. And it looks like Curtis will come back in as well after he got an extended break. So now that the subs are in, CASL will implement their strategic changes in terms of where they want players lined up. So it looks like Bros, Gallardo, O'Brien, and I believe McNally were the ones to come out. Their days are likely done. Montalvo, this is it, a chance there. Montalvo saying that he was pushed, a little bit upset not to get anything called there. Trying to get it up to Nelson. Intercepted. Toritin. Edelman. Toritin again. Won by Hess. Taken right back by Walczyk. He's taking up a more right side roll. He was in the center of the pitch briefly. As they send it in, again, they're going to start looking for those long balls over the top to Rudolph. That's how they scored, despite the fact that it didn't count. 2-0 your score as we continue on here in the second half. U17 Group B action between Challenger Crew, who has the 2 goals, and CASL. Challenger again in the gold. If you're just joining us, as they come to the back peg, running onto it. Dealt with nicely along the backside, not allowing Faust to run on. Trying to spring to counterattack. Up the sideline. Strauss was able to win that challenge, although he gave up the throw-in. But at this station in the game, every ball out benefits Challenger because that's time ticking off the clock. Trying to bring it into the area. Nice little move from Albrecht. Sends it to the back post. It bounces loose. One-time volley. Driven right into the ground by Nelson. Back in quickly for Curtis. Going to send one here to the near side. Deft touch. Walczyk. Too strong. Into touch. It'll be a long throw in. Almost the entire length of the field here for Challenger. They look just to play this one out. It's all up to CASL to try to change the result now. It's going to be too tall for Walczyk. Does he have the speed to catch up to it? He does. Possession given to CASL as it went out. Looks like it's going to be a throw. They get it in towards the near post. Settle down, Nelson, left foot. Couldn't get it He had to hit that one time, but it would not settle down for him. He did the best he could.
Shot with the right foot.
CASL doing their best to push numbers forward. Tried to slip one in. Milliken couldn't get a touch. Back through the midfield. Here's Malone. The through ball to the right side. Goalkeeper out. The shot. And he was just too tough of an angle. It was always going to be difficult. So back into play off the goal kick. Every single ball out brings anxiety over to the sideline of CASL. To the far side again. A little bit of space as the defender went forward. The shot goes wide. Apparently took a touch on the way, so it'll be a corner. Going to the back post. That one is touched out. This time it'll be a goal kick. Sub coming in for CASL. As a Rad will come back into the game. Sun's starting to peek out. We've had intermittent clouds here in Frisco. It's been a little more humid than it was yesterday, although the temperature seems to be not quite as bad. It's just been a constant uncomfortable feeling for the most part. Not too much wind going on. The wind that is coming is coming from our backside, so it's flowing away from your television screens. Now it's on with Nelson. Slips one through. Good one-touch passing here. They get it on for Albrecht. Puts on the brakes. The defender was wise to the move. Milhone getting a little bit of space now. Slides one through. Margaret with the right footer, but he couldn't get it to curl.
Well,
79th minute. Time ticking away. Won by Adelman. Margaret. Trying to switch the point of attack. There's too many gold defenders back. Trying to use the wide spaces here. CASL slips one back into the midfield. Walczyk trying to get it on. Rudolph was there. He was calling for it, but the pass just wasn't quite on target. Adelman now intercepted. Menozzi switching it again. That's headed away. Now here's Milhone. He's got to run to the left. He wants to take it himself. Pass to the right. Cutting inside. The shot. Easily handled by the goalkeeper. Trying to get a little more speed in the build-up now from CASL. Nelson. Nifty little pass. Rudolph cuts back towards the corner flag. Throw coming. Sub coming in as well. This challenger trying to get some fresh legs onto the pitch. The heat bearing down on these players. It's starting to affect them a little bit. Hubbard thought that he was coming out. Adam Haas will be the one to come in. Miscommunication over here on the sideline is the referee thought there would not be a sub since Hubbard was going back on. It'll actually be Adelman coming out. And as I mentioned, Haas coming in. The sun really coming out now as Dudley gets a grasp on that.
4 minutes of added time left. 4 minutes of added time.
Trying to slip one through, coming back, Reveal. From the left, Hess gets it around the defender, hands it off, set back, Reipel. Hess, Reipel again. Libertowski is making the run. He really seems to be struggling right now with the heat. Moments ago, while the substitution was happening, he was over at the midfield circle, and he was really kind of struggling with his hands on his hips.
Here comes the ball in. It's 71. Everybody. Handles the end line.
Now Milliken. Time, take it away here. Castle's got to put one forward. Trying to get the flick. Falls down. Nelson takes a chunk out of the player and the field. Nelson dives on top of it. Got the defender down for Challenger. No foul was called. A little bit surprising. No, there was nothing in it from Nelson. He was attempting to go for the ball. But overall, just the way that the game has been officiated, it would have not surprised me if that had been called. But shaking it off, toughing it out. So the sub will come in. Pataka will return to the game. For the injured player, we'll get you that name when he walks by. So Dudley with possession of it as they try to kill this one off.
Goes in here. She's on the left hand side. She needs support though. Got through in the middle.
It was Maxwell Hess. They come out into the box. Could have been dangerous there. As every push up the field could seal the fate of CASL. Right now, Challenger just content to hold on. A dangerous chance there, sliding challenge from Nabil. Off the crossbar, they score! Again, 3 in a row coming out of nowhere. And it's Milhone again. "41st minute of this second half. 86th overall. And what a goal, again, coming against the run of play. But that's been the MO for Challenger all day long. And with 3 goals now, they've almost got themselves back to even in terms of the goal difference. They lost 4-0 on day 1. They're up 3-0 here on day 2. Reipel, one of the goal scorers. If things remain the way they are, though, the game-winning goal will still belong to Stephen Milhone. Looks like we're going to have a goalkeeper change for CASL as Peter Gilder will come in. You can't really fault Kendall for any of the goals.
Jake, he's off on that side, sir. He's off on that side. Keeper.
Nevertheless, given everything that's happened, sometimes it's just kind of good to allow the goalkeeper to clear his head. Because goalkeepers are often the toughest on themselves. There are foolish fans out there that say, oh, well, the goalkeeper should have done this, they could have done that. And in fact, it's almost never true. But in reality, goalkeepers are also some of the toughest people on themselves as well, because you can almost always envision a way that you could have stopped something, regardless of whether it could have been the truth or not. Slesh for Challenger. Lost control of it on the far sideline, but gets it back. A tough day here for CASL. A good day so far for Challenger. Day 3 coming up tomorrow for all these teams. Still a lot to play for. You're never out of it until it's officially over. But right now, things looking fairly bleak for CASL. Challenger have given themselves some hope going into day 3. They're going to have some difficulty still getting through, depending on the results from the other games. Albrecht was down for CASL. He manages to get up. We get a foul going the other way. '88th minute, so we're going to get a sub here. Malone is going to come out. He's done a fantastic job here today. 2 goals. Riley Hude will come back into the game. He had some good offensive work in the first half. Not really necessarily being put in to score any more goals in this one, but get a good bit of hold-up play, keep things tight over there on the wing. good possession player, able to keep it over on the corners. So we're going to have 3 minutes of stoppage time added onto this. The CASL still trying to pour their hearts out into this one. They haven't given up despite the scoreline, and that's always a good thing to see. Rudolph sends it over towards the far wing, and they have to play it back as there was absolutely no space, and that's been the case throughout the day. Laid back, popped over the top, intended for Ripple, but too far. Pataka puts it up. Ripple slides one through. Here's Slesh. Looking to take the shot. The heavy touch. Gets it around the goalkeeper, but wide. Great effort there from Slesh. Gilder had cut off the angle, so he had absolutely nothing to shoot it at. So the cramps dealt with, and they'll get it back into play. CASL trying to build it up on the near side. Nelson with a good touch. Looking for a little bit of space, trying to create. Hard challenge there, but Nelson shrugs it off and then just sends that one high and wide. The official asking for it to be put back into play. He said he was going to add a little bit of time on. No great hurry from Challenger here to put this one back in. Pataka goes up the sideline and then it's headed out. Pataka again. This time over everybody. Running on to it was Margaret. He goes down, the whistle goes, ball was out. And there it is. There's the final whistle on day 2 action for under 17 boys Group B. The team out of Medon, Ohio is victorious by the final score of 3-0. They get goals in the 7th minute, 29th minute, and 86th minute. The first and last were scored by Malone. Sandwiched in between was Nick Ripple. So that'll do it for our coverage here today. We hope you'll join us again tomorrow for day 3. If you have any interest in watching the continuing action throughout this tournament, we have all the games covered, and we will be doing so throughout the day. But for everyone here at Turbo Sports, for Scott, our great producer, and our great camera crew, I'm Todd Panula. Until the next time, have a great day.